All right, today we're going to dig into a really fascinating psychological idea. What if having a smaller, tighter group of friends isn't some kind of weakness, but actually a powerful sign of strength and even intelligence?
So let's just start with a question that I think probably hits home for a lot of us. Have you ever felt that little bit of social pressure? That voice in the back of your head wondering if your circle's big enough? It's a super common anxiety. But what if we've been asking the wrong question this whole time?
For the longest time, the message we got from everywhere was pretty clear. More friends equals more popularity, and that means more happiness. A small social circle? Well, that was seen as a sign that you were lonely or maybe failing socially. But what if that whole idea is completely backward? Psychology is actually starting to tell a much more empowering story.
And this is where the whole narrative just gets flipped on its head. What we used to think of as a symptom of loneliness is now being understood as a highly effective strategy. It's called social filtering. It's not about a lack of options, it's about making a conscious choice.
So what exactly is social filtering? Well, think of it like your brain acting as a VIP bouncer for your social life. It's this process, sometimes it's subconscious, sometimes it's very conscious, of vetting people, of choosing to invest your very limited time and energy only in those connections that are genuinely meaningful and rewarding.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. This preference for a smaller, really high-quality circle, it isn't just some random quirk. Research is actually suggesting it's a trait often associated with highly intelligent people. So it's not a flaw in their social skills, it's actually a feature of how their minds are wired.
It really comes down to a pretty conscious trade-off. It's about seeking connections that are intentional, that are meaningful, instead of just, collecting contacts. It's about investing that limited social energy wisely because you get that it's not an infinite resource. And maybe most importantly, it's about avoiding that constant need for shallow validation that can come from a huge but superficial network. It's about depth over breadth, every single time.
Psychologists actually have a formal name for this. It's called selective social access. It's this core principle of treating your mental and your emotional energy like the precious resource it is, and reserving it only for connections that provide real value, intellectual stimulation, and genuine emotional depth.
So how can you actually apply this? Well, it really breaks down into 3 key mindset shifts. First, you've got to reframe the narrative. Your circle isn't small, it's curated. It's an exclusive collection of your most valued connections. Second, really value your energy. Recognize that your social time is finite. It's valuable, so spend it where it truly counts. And third, embrace depth. Celebrate the incredible quality and strength of those intentional bonds you've built.
So ultimately, the big takeaway here is really this shift in perspective. A successful social life isn't measured by how many people you know, but by the quality of those relationships. The goal isn't a large network, it's a strong one. A support system that's reliable, authentic, and genuinely makes your life better.
So let's end with a question for you to kind of carry with you. Take a look at your own inner circle. What does its quality, its depth, say about what your priorities really are? Because maybe the true measure of our social life isn't its size at all, but what it reveals about what we truly value. Thanks for digging into this with me.